Hey guys, it's Charlie. It's February 24th, Wednesday. You know, this game, I truly believe this game is about over. I think more and more people are waking up to the reality that Washington, D.C. is full of criminal liars. Wall Street is raping you and your future. People are waking up to this fact. You know, let me share this article with you. The fourth quarter of 2009, okay, this is touted as fantastic news. $904 million, a small profit in the banking sector in Q4 of 09, compared to $37.8 billion lost in the fourth quarter of 08. Now, I want you to think about this. All the banks in the nation, 8,000 banks, 8,000 community banks on every corner in Middle America, USA. 8,000 banks put together. How much money do they have to lose in order to balance out the unbelievable profits made by the super elite too big to fails? Okay? The 5 mega banks that control $400 trillion worth of derivatives that can pull the pin on the economy around the world and who are truly running the show, you know, dictating to Washington what kind of bills are going to pass that's going to benefit the mega elite banks and screw the little banks. So you add all 8,000 banks together and they've lost so much money that you have to take all the profit from the great big massive too big to fails 20% increase in bonuses in 2009. They've made enough money to offset the losses, but only to the tune of $900 million over 8,000 banks. It's great news, though. Wall Street celebrates because it's showing a small increase in profit. It doesn't matter that right behind that news, right behind that little joy story of $900 million of profit, the FDIC announces now their troubled list of banks goes up to 702. Elizabeth Warren said there's going to be 2,300, 2,500 banks that are going to fail because of this economic meltdown. And what does Wall Street do? They celebrate. It's great. It's great news. Why? Well, it must be because of housing news came out today. Housing news comes out and it says that it's the worst in the history of the nation. Just slightly over 300,000 homes on average. That's the rate we're on. So all these billions upon billions upon billions of dollars that your government spent to stimulate people to go out and borrow money to buy overvalued assets, okay? They lure these kids right out of high school, right out of college, right out of the military. Come on in. Come on in. The water's fine. You see the commercials all over the place. You know, the National Association of Realtors will put out a commercial saying, it's never been a better time to buy. Well, if you buy right now, you're a complete idiot, okay? It's fallen 50%. It's got another 50% of the way to go. And if the government would have got the hell out of the way in 2008, we'd have this sucker over with by now. We'd be on our way back to a recovery by now. But no. Bernanke's got it all figured out, this student of the Great Depression. And he's going to just hand money out, $24 trillion, hand it out to the too big to fails, and trinkets are going to come out like cash for clunkers, $8,000 for first-time home buyers. And where does it got us? Where has it got us? 300,000 homes on average for the 2010. That's what we're on track for. The worst in the history of this nation. You think it's getting better? You think it's going to get better? 1 out of 5 people you know doesn't have a job or they're underemployed. That means probably one person in your family, at least one person in your friends you have, doesn't have a job or is vastly underemployed. That number's not getting any better. Oh, they'll lie to you and they'll say it's 9.7% unemployment. But the truth of the matter is, we haven't created a job in this nation since 2007. You know, it's now 2010, and we're told things are getting better. Trust us. Give us the healthcare industry. We'll fix that for you, too. Stories are attached. The most egregious piece of garbage that I've read today, and there's been a bunch of them, is it's on Bloomberg, John Corzine interview, former governor of New Jersey. He was beat by Chris Christie Corzine used to be the CEO of Goldman Sachs for 2 decades. And the headline of this, you know what, I can't even go into it. I'm just going to read you the headline and I'll attach it. Goldman is unpopular because it brings on envy. People are envious of this. I'm going to go briefly into it. When you're successful, it brings envy. Corzine, 63, former governor of New Jersey, criminal, scumbag. Well, it doesn't say that. I added that in there. Said today to Bloomberg, people are broadly frustrated with the financial institution, and since it is the leader of the industry and has shown great success over a long period of time, I think it's more vulnerable. Goldman Sachs posted a record $13.4 billion profit in 2009. Okay, remember, all these other banks are losing so much money. Combined, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, the great big massive too big to fails, all their billions in profits offset by all the losses of the real mom and pop banks or local regional banks in the country. The profits were $900 million for the whole entire nation. But these criminals are making record profits, record bonuses. I digress. $13.4 billion in profits in 2009, a year after receiving. Now this is criminal, in my opinion. This is Bloomberg leaving out actual facts in this story because they write right in it. It repaid the $10 billion it took from the taxpayers in June. Now, my 9-year-old son knows, okay, that Goldman Sachs received $13 billion counterparty payment through AIG, owned by the U.S. government now, yours money and your and my money. Do they pay that back? Absolutely not. They're borrowing money from the Fed at zero. So they're making $13 billion in profits on free money. Bloomberg heralds them for paying back their money, and John Corzine says, "No, no, no. The rest of the industry is just envious from this institution that should be bankrupt." Okay, and the criminals who invented these derivative products sold them to their customers, then shorted them the next day in the backs of their customers. They should be in prison. What are we going to do instead? Let's go after Toyota. Yeah, no slippery slope there. No slippery slope when the U.S. government is in the automobile industry. Okay, so you can have your congressional hearings with Toyota, and even if it isn't set up, even if it's not an attempt to slam the world's largest auto manufacturer and try to paint them as a dangerous company, even though they've absolutely dominated the world in safety and in quality for 30 years. Even if they're not going after them on purpose, do you see the moral hazard created when our government decided to get into the automobile industry? Because even if they're not doing it on purpose, the Japanese, the largest holder of U.S. debt, think they're doing it to try to offset their advantage in the U.S. We are in massive trouble. We are in absolute massive trouble. The riots going on in Greece, they're coming to a theater near you real soon. That's all I got.